I'm Nural. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss these videos. Today I'll be talking a little bit about a scrapbooking layout I did recently. I was on holidays in July, so I'm now back and had my photos printed. So now it's time to put them in scrapbook albums. And I'm really very excited because recently I got this paper pad. This is a paper pad from a company called Eno Greetings, and it is 25 centimeters by 25, so it's a little bigger than what I normally use. And normally I use smaller design papers with A4 layouts, and again I'll be doing the A4 layout by using these. And what this has is it comes with 24 different papers. 12 different papers, 2 sheets of each, so 24 pages, plus 2 sheets of die cut embellishments. And what those embellishments are, let me just pick one up from here. So it comes like a sheet like this. I already used some on my layout, and these you can just separate from the big page. So this one says happy birthday, and the back is the same as the paper, so you need to use sticky tape or double-sided glue or something like this to put this onto your layout. But there are different ones, and I'll show them to you before I do the layout. And I got this like 2 months ago, so I'm really very excited to use it finally. And some of the designs in the set are like this little dots, and there are this little dots, and there's like celebrate, follow your dreams, and there's a few that has like a birthday theme, so like happy birthday. I will have to cut these because this is not as long as an A4 paper but wider. So I will have to cut them and somehow organize how I want the big designs like these to fit in my pages. So I started with stuff like this that doesn't have text, and let's see how it goes. So now let's move on to the layout. If you've seen any of my previous scrapbooking videos, you'll know that I tend to do layouts with 3, 4, sometimes 5 images, and I get them printed smaller than usual. So I usually do 2 per 1 regular photo size, but this time I really wanted to showcase this photo of my dad and my son, so I got it printed larger, and I also had added a large border around it. And this is one of the designer papers from the paper pad that I showed you in the beginning of the video. And now I'm just gonna layer again different designer papers from the same set in order to make a layered look behind the image. And I will be using this paper pad for most of my holiday photos, so they all gonna have the same theme to them and the same colors pretty much. And I might just add some additional embellishments or alphabet stickers and things like that, but my plan is to use up this set before I move on to a new one and buy more papers. So as I said, now I'm layering up different papers from the same set, and I am also using some of the die cuts that are within the same pack. And I selected this one says follow your dreams, and added it on top of the brownish paper because it has little pink dots, and the text was on top of a darker pink paper. And now I have the bottom side that is empty, and I selected this text that says one of a kind. But when I tested it out on top of the design papers with the pattern, it didn't really show. So now I'm just gonna add the plain green behind it, and then I'm gonna cut the sides so that the green doesn't show. So I need to be really careful while cutting it because I want to make sure that the green covers the back but doesn't show from the corners. And I'm just using a little bit of glue because it is so thin. so it's only being held by a couple places, but now you can really read the text on top of the green, otherwise it wasn't really showing. And I'm just gonna add a couple more embellishments from the die cuts that I selected that I thought would look good with this layout. So I'm adding these bow ties and this round circle and also these little stars, and I'm just gonna slide it behind so that it fits. And this is pretty much done for the first side, so now I can move on to the second page. So I layered everything for the second side, and now I'm just gonna take it apart and start sticking things on top of the main backing paper. And for this side I selected 2 photos of my son. I wanted the images to complement the one on the left side with my dad and son, and I didn't want to overcrowd the page with a lot of photos, so I went with just the same time but 2 different poses. And now I'm starting to layer the backing papers. I decided to, well, I had to use a little more than 1 page for this, so I had to cut it up a little bit because the design paper I have is 25 centimeters, whereas A4 paper is 29.4 if I remember correctly. So I needed an additional part of the striped paper to add to the top, and I just added to, as I said, to the top so that my big photo would cover the tape line there. And now I'm just adding more and more papers on top of it. I started cutting up these 25 by 25 squares, and I keep on using them for the next few layouts, and we'll see how much paper I will have left by the time I'm done with my holiday scrapbooking pages. So like the part I just cut, I'm gonna be saving it for something else, and I'm gonna layer it again with a couple more designs to make sure that I have a more funky layout than I normally would. And the dots are the same as I used on the left side of the page, and the design behind my son's little photo is again the same. I'm just make sure that everything lines up. I will have to cut the excess down here as well, and I'm just turning my page over so I actually see the A4 pages line to make sure that I don't cut more than I should. But now it's time to start sticking my photos onto here, and I think the corner is gonna be nice, but I just want to make sure that all the embellishments I picked out will still fit. So here we go, the first photo is down. Now that the little image is stuck, I can move on to the big one, and after that I will be sticking my embellishments, which is the fun part basically. But I quite like the layout like this, and I'm still trying to figure out if I can change things around or move things from one place to another. But I really liked my original design, so I'm gonna stick with it and stick my photo down and add these little flags on top, and then a couple more embellishments to the bottom part so everything is more layered. And after this I will have a little corner left up there in the right side. So for that I'm thinking of adding some text. That's why I'm bringing out my stamp set. I'm gonna be using my Say It With Stamps alphabet set to add some text to the corner, and it already has some phrases that I don't really use, but this time I think I'm gonna be going with You're So. And now I'm selecting the letters for cute. So I got the C, the E, and let's see, T. I just need to find the U if I can. And it's a little harder than I thought it would be because all the letters are jumbled in this little box. But here we go. I got the U as well. And now I can get to stamping. I decided to go with a purple Memento ink. It's a softer purple, so it's gonna go really nice with these sort of browns and pinks that I have going on. And I'm gonna start with You're So, And the phrases are quite nice to use actually, because I don't have to pick out all the letters one by one, so it makes it easier. And now I'm just gonna go one letter at a time to spell out cute. Now the text is done, and that pretty much completes my layout. So my layout is done and I added it to my binder. And as I mentioned, I normally don't do one photo per page layout, or two as a matter of fact, so this is a real exception for me. But I really wanted to showcase these photos because I really like them, and I also want to add a bunch of layers with the design papers so that it has a more colorful and cheerful tone to it. So here is the result. I hope you like it, and if you did, please hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you next time. Bye!